computer. Okay, so I've just added the traffic source, and now I can go into my campaigns and say, okay, you know what? Let's say AdWords. All right, so let's say we had a campaign running for Jack, and I can go and just update it. Okay, so what it's gonna change here, okay, the query strings haven't changed, okay? I'm not saving it, okay? I'm just want you to that.
Can I ask one question?
Yeah.
Is it allowed? Can I record this session to watch it?
Yeah. You can also record it on Zoom. You can record it locally. I'm recording it, and I'm gonna send a link to the recording. After the show.
Oh, that's fine as well, because it asks for permission to record. But if you yourself, then that's fine as well.
I think, okay, you know what? Disable participant annotation, optimize. I don't know. I think it was. It's meant to be free to record. Okay, I don't know. I'm recording it anyway. Okay.
Yeah, exactly. So that's fine.
Yeah. All right. So I'm just want to show you something so we are very clear about this, okay? The query strings of the traffic source haven't changed in that case because we didn't add any parameter, okay, to the new traffic source settings. We just updated the aliases. So the query strings that you see here, okay, on the right side, on the left side, okay, so those are the query string parameters, okay, on the left side. Those are the parameters / value track parameters from AdWords, okay, and auto tag parameters, and those are the aliases, to which we, we associate, the keyword, for instance, with the alias keyword. So that when you look at, you want to compare Bing and AdWords, okay, the UTM term parameter is always associated with keyword, okay, and if you have another traffic source like Yandex, for instance, it's also going to be associated with keyword. So you can then compare the same type of values across multiple traffic sources. All right, so the query string hasn't changed because we didn't update, we didn't add any new parameters. Okay, the only thing that changed was the alias. So when you look at the traffic source or the query string parameters here that we need to add to AdWords, okay, they are they are the same. Okay, nothing has changed on this side of the URL. All right, so that was for the traffic source, and now I want and then sorry, let me go back here. Okay, so now that I've added a new traffic source with the new parameters, I can just switch to the new traffic source, okay, and just save. Now, the campaign ID is the same, okay, this is the campaign ID. The campaign name is the same, there are new aliases, okay, but the parameters are the same. So, when things like that happen, okay, it doesn't mean that you need to restart your campaign or your stats and reports will reset, with the new campaign. Okay, so there is there is continuity with your campaign. Okay, so that's very important because sometimes people just are worried that all the stats of the campaigns that have been running for months are being reset because we are just updating the traffic source. So no, that's not the case. So we jumped quickly into the campaigns, and now we back to the traffic source where you can see that you can add your own traffic source, scheme traffic source, and you can add your own parameters, UTM source, and whatever, it could be something like this. And that's, let's say, a traffic source that we don't know. Only you know that traffic source. So, you've added your own parameters, and you can just, save it, and you're good to go, as long as those parameters are the one matching the traffic source that you're trying to add. Again, we have predefined traffic sources like organic here, which have the UTM parameters that you can use, with either when you have some mixed traffic from social and organic. It might be paid traffic and also organic traffic. You can mix everything within the same traffic source, or within the same campaign, and still be able to see, which traffic was from a paid campaign, or from a social campaign, or from a totally organic search campaign. So that's, in case you want to just, mix everything within one traffic source. And naturally, you can also add parameters here if you need to. Okay, so last about the traffic sources, we have the postback URL here. Anyone familiar with the postback URL?
I know what it is, but I haven't got it working yet.
All right. Okay. So essentially, the postback URL is a URL provided by the source of the traffic. So if you work with, let's say, with Adwords, okay, Adwords is meant to give you a postback URL to place here. So when the conversion happens in TrackingDesk, you call their postback URL. Now, the problem is that Adwords doesn't have a postback URL, so that will not happen with Adwords. But there are plenty of traffic sources like Outbrain, for instance, if you've been using Outbrain. Okay, so they have a postback URL here. Okay, so that postback will, we will fire or inject in their URL here, okay, the click ID that they have sent us, okay? And that click ID is for them the source of the conversion. So if we call that URL with their click ID here that they sent here, where is it? Here we go. Okay, so they send in the click ID query string a value, okay, which is a long string of number and alphanumeric characters, okay. And when there is a conversion associated with that click ID, okay, then we fire back to their URL this value, okay, this value here, okay, into that parameter here, okay. We add the conversion type, okay, which is the conversion name that you have defined in your Outbrain account. So you have you are free to set up multiple conversion on their system, and then here you can fire that information. Now you can go by our own names. So you go into Outbrain, you add a new conversion called CPA or CPL or CPI, whatever the name you want. But those names are the predefined names of TrackingDesk. So if you want to use different names in Outbrain, then you would use that remapping function here, where the conversion type, which is our conversion type, is let's say CPL, which will be our own conversion name, okay, and you want to remap this to lead, because this is the name of the conversion that you have set in your Outbrain account. And then again here, conversion type, you want to CPA will become registration. Okay, and then
this is only relevant when you're buying traffic.
Yes,
right?
yes. If you're a publisher, then that doesn't apply.
Exactly.
Yeah, I don't know the side of the publishing of Outbrain. I'm sorry, but I assume that they have some sort of settings like this. You'd have to ask them for that.
Yeah, I understand. But for me, I'm only advertising on AdWords, and for the rest, it's mostly organic traffic, maybe some social. So,
okay.
All
right. So AdWords and Bing, would do good. But same goes for AdWords, for instance, because in AdWords you can set your conversion, goals, the conversion names, and when you want to upload conversions into AdWords, then you need to use the exact name of the conversion, so that can actually work. Again, you might have defined, in a previous life, some conversion names, and you don't want to change those conversion names in AdWords. So you can modify it. You can remap it. So let's say, those are the names that you have in AdWords, and those are the words that those are the predefined conversion types that we have in TrackingDesk. So the lead would be CPA, and then you can have like the CPI, and maybe in AdWords you have something like install, and then conversion type CPS, which would be the rev share, and this would be sell. Okay, that would be what's defined in your AdWords account, and then automatically when we fire the conversion. Okay, then instead of adding CPA, for instance, which is our conversion name, we would send what is mapped to CPA, meaning registration. Got it?
Yeah.
All right, so that's one thing, and obviously you need to activate it. Most of the traffic sources that have postback tracking, we have tried to map those postbacks. Some of them are missing, some of them have been updated, and we haven't been maybe we haven't updated that on our end, but we try to keep up with the upgrades and the updates of our partners. So normally you should see the correct information here. All right, so we've saved the traffic sources. Now we have we have the affiliate network. So are you guys working with some specific affiliate networks?
Yeah, well, I'm mostly working with adult networks. So, for instance, one you've visited recently, and
NATS.
NATS, yeah.
All right, and that integration or preset has been good for you.
Well, this is one thing I'm still working on. Today, I've figured a way to separate the traffic sources. So in Google Tag Manager now, I found a way to recognize if traffic is coming from AdWords, from organic, from social, etc.
Okay.
And then fire a custom pixel which you're tracking with an appropriate campaign. So
all right.
That's what I did today, and I haven't got to the part for the offer tracking yet.
All right, but like it should be fairly simple. I mean, you add your network NATS, and when you save here, okay, you have your postback tracking, which is meant to be preset with your with the parameters that are meant to be filled with the values when there is a conversion in the affiliate program.
Okay.
All right. So theoretically, nothing to do. Just copy paste the postback. Okay. So you have your lead postback. So if you can track some funnels on their end, you have the lead here. and then you have the CPA, which could be a full registration, and then here would be the sales and the recurring sales. And if you need to add additional conversions, then you can add, let's say, maybe they have some install, application. You can add another type of conversion here, which could be CPI here. And hold on, and that's offer. And here, when you save it, okay, this is basically the last post back. Okay, now just to make you understand, this is offer specific post back. You can, you can remove it, and the rest is the same as the previous post back, except for the value here, C equal 4, okay, which is the fourth conversion here, and it's the install. So you can add additional conversions if necessary. All right. Okay, and then once you've got your offer set, you can add your offer links, okay, which are the links provided by the affiliate program. And you do not need to add any custom parameters. So if they give you a link like this, we will automatically update the link, during the click, okay, with the parameters that they get, which is subaf equal, event ID, which is like our dynamic value that we send to each click. So once this is done, then they can, use that value in the conversion postback URL.
For my affiliate software, I'm getting a shortened link, and it will redirect to the full link that contains some IDs. So should I just input the short URL or the URL it redirects to?
You know what? Give me a URL here right now, and we can check, and I can show you exactly how to check that, because that's something that you might face, in the future. And you can put that in the chat, and I can, I can show you how to check that.
Okay.
Where is the chat? Oh yeah, here we go. Here.
One second.
Yeah. I don't find it all the time, the chat window. So
this is the short URL that will redirect to other URL.
Okay. So
it's adult content, so I should warn you.
All right. Okay. Don't worry. My kids are not here.
So we good.
We are safe. Maybe I can show that to my wife. Could be fun. All right. So this is the short link. Okay, and this is Nat's short link. Let's see how it works. And what would be the regular link? Do you have it or not?
Yeah, well, if it redirects to the regular link, so I will just open it.
So that would be the regular link, or that would be the redirect, the landing page after the redirect?
That would be after the landing page after the redirect.
So let's say we do this, and then let's check where we're going.
I assume that this is the link that I need, but I'm not sure about it.
It's all right. We can. Okay, so this is, and then so if we go here, so that would be the actual link I think. Well, that's the actual landing page. So I'm not, and if that's the, yeah, there is no real redirect after that, as far as I can see.
Okay, yeah, that could be so. But I think the small link, they just put it there for,
I imagine, but here is the thing. What happens if you send traffic directly, like, to this page? Does that carry your affiliate ID? Does that carry anything?
Well, for me, the tracking works. I mean, I'm getting...
No, I mean, if you send traffic directly to this page, what happens?
Then on the affiliate software, it tracks the conversions, if there are any.
Okay. So let's try to see whether this, and let's do a campaign. Oops. Okay, and we can search here, this. So now we have a campaign URL, which is this. And let's see if the system gets everything they need. Okay, so we are redirected to the right page. The question is whether this is, we can see the query strings here that we've sent, okay? Here, and hold on, let me check again. And here, okay. So those are the query strings that have been sent to the affiliate URL. So the question is, do you see in your affiliate software, okay, do you see that value under sub-aff? And if that's the case, then we're good. Then you've got you've got what you need. This is the landing page URL that we reached, okay, after sending the different values into it. Okay, into sub-aff 4, whatever. We haven't defined anything in those parameters, but the most important, which is used for the conversion tracking, which is this one, okay, is being sent. So if you see the reports, in your affiliate reports in your affiliate program, that sub-aff has been used to get the conversion ID or the click ID, then it means that the tracking will work between their system and TrackingDesk, whether it's with a short URL or the long URL. But surely they have a method or they have the information needed to use the short URL. I'm sure they have this information because they support postback, right? So yeah. check on your end. Maybe you ask your affiliate manager there if they have some information, and if something is missing, we can we'll figure out something to make it work.
Okay.
All right. So I just showed you how you set a campaign here, but that's not really what we wanted to do. We checked the network, affiliate networks, where these values here that you see are the values from the traffic sources. So if you want to send to your affiliate program, to NATS, you want to see also the source from the traffic source, and you want to see the keyword that was sent to that particular click, and you want to see the target and whatever you want to see from the traffic source, and you want to forward that to your affiliate program stats, then you can do it here. Okay. Are you familiar with deep link campaigns?
Not sure, actually.
Deep link campaigns is when you want to send traffic to a specific page within a site. Okay, and let's say the affiliate program gives you a base URL, which is going to be, I'm going to show you that in a second. So just want to show you this. Okay, so that worked. This is where is it? No, this is what I wanted to show you. Okay, this is a campaign, okay, that promotes the Drip email marketing software homepage, but they have the ability to receive a destination URL in the affiliate URL. So if you look at this, and then I'm going to show you the exact setup, which can be done with any affiliate program. Okay, now that doesn't work, okay, because I didn't add a final URL. Okay, so this is my basic campaign URL from TrackingDesk. Okay, and here you see the URL is missing. Okay, and here I'm supposed to send traffic to this page. So that would be the base URL of Drip affiliate software. Okay, so if I'm going here, I'm supposed to go to Drip homepage. And because I'm adding, a parameter at the end called U, okay, which signals the affiliate program that I have an additional destination URL. So if my destination URL is this, the final URL, that's the campaign here, and okay, I want to send people to Drip blog page. Okay, so I can do this, and the system will redirect to the Drip blog page. Now, this is useful and can be used here. Impact radius, and I guess that's the, sorry about that, that's a bit messy. Okay, let's try this one. Yes, okay, so we've got this variable, okay, that uses var7, okay, so let's change that to target URL, okay, which will make it very easy then to remember, okay, and then this is the traffic source, organic, anything here, okay, target, okay, so I can put the URL here, okay, and then use that value as a destination URL of a campaign. Okay, so Drip blog. Okay, so anytime there is a value here, it's going to be forwarding that value into the deep link URL structure of impact radius here, and the tracking will take place. So you can think about TrackingDesk as a platform that allows you to manipulate and play with parameters in a very extensive manner. Not only it tracks, but you can also use the parameters to define additional destination, or you can trigger some some additional targeting of your campaign, and really start playing with the data that you get. So you get data on one end, and you can use that data, on the other end of the funnel. Okay, so that's how to use those parameters in a efficient way. Now here you have the postback URLs of the affiliate programs. Okay, so you can select postback here, and you have the postback that you can set in your affiliate program. Every affiliate program should have a place where to add the postback URL. If you're not familiar with those places, you can, with those settings, you can ask the affiliate manager. They normally know how to do it. Here we are in Impact Radius, which is a software, an affiliate network platform where a lot of brands run their affiliate program. Like Drip, what we just saw. So you can, check here, my campaigns. You can see where the postback URLs can be set. So here we have Drip, and we have tracking integration. Now it's already set. Okay, I've done it already a few times. But you can see here that I have added the postback URL of TrackingDesk here in Impact Radius. Now, keep in mind that the postback URL, let's have a look at Impact Radius. No, that's not a predefine. Okay, when you do a predefine, okay, which is preset with all the parameters. Okay, you do not need to make any modifications to the postback, as I showed you before for the NATS network. Okay, so here you see you have the sub ID 1, which is the parameter that Impact needs, and the payout, which also is needed to receive the commission value. And when you are into Impact Radius, you can see all the parameters that they can send in the postback URL. Okay, now most of this is not really important for optimization purpose unless you are very heavy into e-commerce and you are running, I mean doing 1,000 transactions a day, and you have a lot of information that you use from those transactions to optimize your campaign and your CRM and your website. But for let's say standard affiliate marketing, referral marketing, what you've got in terms of parameters is what you need. If you want to do more, then you're free to do. That's obviously something that you can do, but as you can see, they have a lot of stuff that you can add to the postback URL. This is Max Bounty. If you're familiar with Max Bounty, same thing. They have a placement in your profile here. You can check the profile. You can add your postback, edit the profile, and add your postback URL here, which is preset for Max Bounty. Here we go, Max Bounty. Okay, so it's also predefined here. You see the S2 parameter, which is what we use to send click ID, and here you have the post back. Okay, so you add your post back here, you copy it, and you go into your account, paste it. Okay, it's already here, so it's the same one. Okay, so nothing new. Just copy it here. It's a global post back. Okay, so every conversion that you have in your account in Max Bounty will fire the post back, and the post back will ping tracking desk with with the correct information. Quickly, we can jump into campaign settings, and then before we move ahead, any questions, any remarks, anything that you'd like to add? Kim, please.
No, not well. Maybe for the postback. For me, I also have recurring payments. So I have when a conversion is made, when the sale is made, then I get a commission. And if the user continues his plan, maybe in a couple of weeks or a month or whatever. I also get a commission. It's called revenue share. You just showed me that in this case I need to use two different postback URLs.
Yeah.
So I assume that on my affiliate software there should be two places, separate places where I can.
Which software?
The NATS.
Yeah. Okay, the NATS. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I assume there should be two places then where I can insert those two postback URLs. One for the revenue share for when someone continues this membership, and one for the first time sale. Is it correct?
Yeah, I mean the first time sale. I mean, I assume that what they have on their end is is this. I haven't seen the platform myself, but from the documentation that I saw, it seems that they have the placements for both postback, but I'm sure the affiliate manager there would know. And if it doesn't, then we can do some tests and see that everything falls in place properly.
Okay, look into this.
Yeah, but I mean, this is it's meant to be standard, process. There is no standard in terms of the parameters, but in terms of process of planning conversion, this is very standard. It's what you've got in pretty much every affiliate program or every affiliate program that you should be working with. It doesn't give you access to postback is problematic, except maybe for Amazon and Google, which do not have those features. But otherwise, it's really widespread now that access to postback.
Yeah, most adult affiliate software is pretty crappy, I would say. So it's probably not the same standard as what you're used to.
Yeah. So I've heard, but as long as you have the ability to get to pass a custom value in their URL, then you can always import that the conversions into TrackingDesk, even manually. Or with Zapier or whatever. I mean, this is really something. Once you can pass the query string, okay, the event ID, okay, into the affiliate link, then you can import that the conversion.
Yeah, I can do that. I mean, I can. There's a way to add a code that is used as postback URL. The only thing is that it is you can only add one code for each different offer. So it looks like they don't have a way to to use postback for recurring sales. It just looks that it's just for the first time sale and not for other.
Oh, they have only for the first time sale.
I think so. Yeah, I can insert different postback URLs, but only one for each offer they have.
But and can the same postback URL can fire both type of conversions, or it's gonna fire only one?
Well, to be honest, I cannot see at what moment the postback URL is fired. So I'm not.
Okay,
sure
because if that's the case, and you can use only one postback URL, then in that case you would be using the CPS postback, which can fire multiple times for the same sub ID. Otherwise, for like for lead generation, the same lead can fire only once. And you can fire, several conversions with the same ID, but only one conversion type per ID: the lead, install, and CPA. And then for the recurring sales, then you can fire multiple times the same, the same.
Okay. Yeah.
In that case, you would put you would put the CPS one, and that's it.
Okay, then maybe one field is enough.
Yeah, but we can check and we can test and see what's coming up, and accordingly we can make the changes. Okay, so that's for the affiliate networks. Now for the campaigns, it's it should be fairly intuitive. There are two types of campaigns. You have the campaigns. Adwords is a bit different because of the tracking templates. But if you run, let's say, some redirect URLs, then you can select multiple links and run them on the same campaign like this. So you select the traffic source. You can select a geo-target or one or several targets. And then geo-target or do just a global one. You can select categories. So if you want to do a rotation of a specific category like adult dating or fetish dating or whatever you guys do in adult, you want to do some very specific category rotation of pop-up or display advertising. Then you can select a category here. Let's say dating, and then all the offers related to dating. I don't know if I have any here. Okay, well, I have one here, but that's just an example. Will come up. You can select all of the offers and run them. Add them to the campaign, and they will rotate, equally unless you change the weight of each banner. They will also rotate according to geo-target. Okay, so if you have traffic coming from the US, the US links will be displayed. And if you get traffic from Mexico, then the offer links from Mexico will load. You can add additional targeting rules here. Okay, operating system, browser, and accordingly, the offer links that you have will be running here. Let me just show you this. You can set some specific rules here. Let's say this link would be for Mac and browser Firefox. Okay, so that link is for Mac Firefox, and if you add it to a campaign, you would select here operating system and browser, and accordingly the traffic will redirect to the offer that is matching the operating system and the browser targeting rules. All right. For AdWords, the tracking template is displayed here on our support portal. So this is a tracking template that should be working. You know, it can work on any level of your AdWords account. So when you create your tracking template in AdWords, okay, you need to add the auto tagging. I mean, you should follow the guidelines of this article, okay? And eventually, at some point, you need to set your tracking template. So here you have.
Yeah, I implemented this. So this is, I think this is working for me.
Yeah, so you have the template here. You can just copy paste. It matches the requirements from your from the traffic source, and you need to have auto tagging done on your or turn on your account, so that those values can be you know can be sent with the DPL ID into your site and offer link. Yeah.
Do you support parallel tracking?
Well, parallel tracking means that the visitor gets directly to your landing page without going through the tracking link. The setup that we have here doesn't require any doesn't require parallel tracking. I mean, it works with or without. It doesn't matter because we are when they are sending the traffic to the landing page, they actually apply the tracking template to the final URL automatically. So eventually, you've got you are promoting your landing page, which might be let's back here. So this is the tracking template, and they will replace that with the landing page. And replace all those parameters, on the URL. Okay, and eventually the visitor will land on that URL with all those parameters. That's why you have auto tagging enabled. Okay, so they forward that to your landing page URL. Now, because on your website or landing page, you have your, let's just go back here. Because on the landing page, you've got the organic script, okay? All the parameters that you see here, all the query strings will be recorded by TrackingDesk. Okay, so the traffic is being sent to your landing page. AdWords adds all those parameters with auto tagging to your landing page URL. Okay, and TrackingDesk captures all of this information dynamically. Then, and then then parallel tracking is irrelevant in that case. Why? Because the tracking server doesn't need to be, to be hit by AdWords, because the tracking information is on the URL, okay, and it's not a redirect URL, so it doesn't require it doesn't require any redirect. Okay, so before that, the tracking template could have been, a redirect URL. And with like with all those parameters, we could have redirect eventually to the landing page. But because we have all those parameters on the URL directly on the landing page URL instead of a redirect, and we have the script on the page, then tracking starts as soon as the visitor gets on the landing page. And because they add the the GCL ID to the with auto tagging to the URL, and we have our own tracking ID on the URL that is being tracked, then all this information is already being tracked during the landing page visit. So we support parallel tracking because we don't need parallel tracking. That's the bottom line.
Yeah, I get it. Okay.
Advertisers that need parallel tracking, they use they send traffic to their website directly, and they have in parallel the tracking a tracking URL which gets the beacon from Adwords, and that's how they work.
Okay, that's good to know, because after tomorrow, then parallel tracking is we call it it's mandatory for AdWords.
Yeah, no, I know. Tomorrow, it's in a couple of days from now, everything will be with parallel tracking, and again, we don't have support, technological support for parallel tracking.
Because it doesn't matter.
Because we don't need it. That's the bottom line.
Yeah. Okay. Good.
We use the parameters on the landing page to form our tracking. But that's important to have this information, okay, the script on the site, okay, and to have the proper tracking template in AdWords, and to have auto tagging set in AdWords. That's very important. Otherwise, it just doesn't, it won't work. Last thing would be that's something else. Yeah, no, I think that's it for the AdWords campaign. Then every other campaigns, every campaign is slightly different, but overall, besides AdWords, which has a way to build URLs, the other companies, it's totally direct, and that works, in a very simple way. Just the last thing about campaign that I wanted to show you is the landing page. Here, when you want to promote a landing page, meaning your website from which you have, you promote the offers, then you search for landing pages here. Okay, you can search here within, the landing pages that you have here. You can search for something specific. Okay, you can add it. Hold on, let me just remove everything here. Okay, so you can add it to the campaign's active assets, and here you will define the call to action that you want to promote. Okay, so that would be this, and the third one would be, whatever. Okay, so that would be the webinar. So that is a landing page with 3 call to actions. Okay, so like you're promoting 3 offers on the same page, and once you've saved it, okay, you can now put your script on the landing page or use the redirect URL. Okay, so that's for AdWords, so it's not really relevant. So let's go to Outbrain. Okay, and we can save the campaign. And now what we do here. Okay, so each of those is associated with an offer. So I don't remember exactly what I set up here. Here, which was something that we did with another user during a webinar that was a demo, and here was I don't know it was, but that's registration for the webinar of TrackingDesk. So that was a test that we did also. But here you can see this is the click ID from TrackingDesk. This is the values that we send to the landing page URL or to the offer link. That's okay. So that's done through a redirect. Okay, that goes to that page. All right, and then those are the call to actions. Now, last thing that you should know is that you can rotate multiple offers on the same URL.
Just one question.
Yes.
It says class 1, class 2, class 3. I assume that matches the click 1 or
yes, exactly. Yes, that matches the click 1, click 2, and just so we are clear, when you add a landing page to your account, okay, you can define the call to actions here. Okay, so go 5. Okay, 1, 2, 5. Another last thing here. Let me go back here to my profile. Okay. So this is where you would create or add your custom tracking domain. And this is the call to action. Okay, so now all your links within TrackingDesk can have your custom tracking domain. And your tracking domain is automatically enabled with HTTPS. And you can add many. All right, so last thing that I wanted to show is Zapier. Okay, so once you get your invite to Zapier, you can connect it to your accounts, and the TrackingDesk Zapier integration can be used as a trigger. So once conversion happens in TrackingDesk, the app can start. Okay, or it can you can use TrackingDesk as an action, meaning that once something happens in another application, then it would start a trigger in another application, and then use that trigger data to send information into TrackingDesk. So I can show you Shopify. Okay, so Shopify is here. So then you have a new order any status. So this would be the account. All right, so here we can see an order, okay, from within Shopify. Now, in order for the whole thing to work, we need to have the event ID recorded by sent to Shopify. The event ID would be this. Okay, this is how an event ID looks like in Shopify, and the way to send it to Shopify is by using the parameter ref, okay, which is here. Hold on. Hold on. Okay, so this is how you send the event ID into Shopify. Okay, so every time Shopify gets a click, okay, we add, ref equal event ID, and then that allows you to actually see that information here. So you have this information here, okay. So you select this data as a template so that you can use it multiple times. You can iterate that flow, and then here you're going to be able to select TrackingDesk as the recipient of the conversion. So you would say create a conversion. And here we would select the tracking school account. Select events. So we go select this information, and we select the type of conversion that we want to fire into TrackingDesk. So that would be a PPS, which would be a cell. And here we would select the amount. Value. Further. I don't know how do you call it. Price, maybe. Here we go. So that would be, the subtotal price, for instance. Okay, but they have different lines of, price. And then, continue. And, you can send a test to TrackingDesk. Okay, successful. And now you have the payload of the conversion. Now you can say, oh, all right, okay, so the traffic source that was at the origin of the conversion was the organic webinar traffic source, and then you also link what the shop tracking school, and so on and so on. So you have a lot of information coming up in the conversion payload. Okay, with languages and which IP address and so forth. So you can really collect a lot of information. You can see what was the the operating system of the user that bought something on the Shopify store. You can see the page where the user landed. It came from a Twitter link, message. And so on. I mean, it's endless, okay? Because, as soon as you start gathering data, you can see a lot of data coming up, and then you can use this information to, just now you can add, that user into your MailChimp account with the value of the purchase that he did, or into Active Campaign, or, into the email system. Or you can just send that information to your, to a Google Sheet where you have, you just collect data. Eventually, it's a way to, to gather, to gather data and distribute the data to other places. That was a task where we create the conversion in TrackingDesk, and now we can check how you trigger the conversion from TrackingDesk. So the first step would be TrackingDesk, okay, and here we can start selecting the accounts where the conversion started. So you can select this again. You can select the traffic source. So this is what we had just before. So you can see that conversion that we saw. You can select a specific campaign within that traffic source, or just go by a global, closed. Again, this is the conversion that we just triggered is here. We have all the same information, and from here you can fire the conversion to another place. In Adwords, we discussed that before. You can add a spreadsheet row to a Google Sheet that is associated with your Google AdWords account. And then all conversions coming from AdWords will be used as will be sent. Okay, so this is the conversion data. You select the number, whatever the sheet, and then you have the different columns where you want to send the information. So for AdWords, you will have the the GCL ID and the timestamp that will be important for you to add to your to the Google Sheet. So that Google Sheet can be synced with your AdWords account.
One question. So I assume that you need to input the GLCID also.
Right? Yes. So
and then Adwords can match it with the campaign. The campaign.
Yeah, but let me show you something. Okay, so let's say we've got the conversion now that came here in TrackingDesk. Okay, in Zapier. So if you look in the data that we have here. Okay, so this is not the the AdWords data, okay, because this is not an AdWords campaign, but eventually you will have all the AdWords data in that format, okay. So you have the GCL ID and the landing page URL, the LP URL, and the keyword, and all the parameters that you normally have with AdWords will be showing up here, okay, so that when you want to upload that information in Google Sheets, then you will be able to select, let's say pretend that this is for the GCL ID. Okay, you can search for GCL ID here. Okay, let's say event ID. Okay, so let's say this is the the click event ID from AdWords. So you just select it, and that's it, and then you're good to go.
And I see that you're using, you cannot directly import it into AdWords in this way, I think. You have to use Google Sheets somehow?
Yes, because, AdWords doesn't have postback URL. They have a JavaScript that you need to put in your thank you page. In that case, because you are not the owner of the thank you page, you can't put that JavaScript. And therefore, you need to use a third-party system. So the third-party system is TrackingDesk to collect the Google Click ID. And the other solution, and that's if you want a bit of a hack, because it's not really a postback, but what AdWords has is you can schedule a sync between a Google Sheet and your AdWords account for offline, for importing conversions into AdWords. You can do an offline import. Okay, so a CSV file import. Because Google Sheets is part of Google, you can use Google Sheet and connect Google Sheet to your AdWords account, and because you can fill automatically your Google Sheet account or page with the conversion data, then on a daily basis, that file can be synced with the AdWords account. So no need to once it's set up, it's done. You don't need to touch it again. Every conversion will fire from TrackingDesk to the Google. I mean, through Zapier to the Google account, and then will be synced with AdWords.
Okay, sounds great.
Yeah, it's I mean, it does the job. You can obviously fire multiple conversion types. So if you want to fire CPC conversions, lead conversions, sales conversion with the value also, you can send dynamic value to the conversion. Then you can fire all of this into AdWords. And yeah, that's once it's that, then you can just let it run and just enjoy.
Okay. One question, because I'm in Zapier right now, but I cannot find TrackingDesk there.
Yes, because you haven't been invited yet.
Okay.
Right now it's invite only. Okay, we just I think we finished about a week, about 10 days ago the full integration, and it's only invite only. It's going to be public. I would hope toward the end of the month of November, and by then, until then you'll have the invite. I mean, I'm going to send you the invite now, but then you can see the tracking desk in Zap.
Okay, that would be great if you can.
I'm going to do it now, just now. Where is it? Okay.
Because for me, the tracking in the Adwords conversions, it's the main goal for using the tracking.
Yeah, no, it's
great that I can combine all the conversions with all the different affiliates, of course.
Yeah. I guess it's gonna be very very useful. We'll go to your invite and the chat. Where's the chat? Oh. Oh, there you go. Okay, and Kim can also get it, but Kim has been very silent, so Kim?
Okay, great.
Well, maybe he's offline, I don't know. Yeah, so you've got that. Once you click on this and you connect and you log into your Zapier account, then you can then it's going to be part of your account, and you can add in as many Zap as you want. And for that matter, Zapier is a great application. You can do plenty of stuff with it. Not only the Google AdWords conversion, but plenty of stuff for automation. I don't know all about your marketing activities, but think about social media, and there are plenty of stuff that you can.
Yeah. So that I actually right now I'm looking if I can somehow also connect Google Analytics. I see that this is possible.
It is, but as far as I can see, there is some missing data that you would need in order to use Google Analytics with to connect Google Analytics with AdWords. Not entirely sure, but it looks like it's not exactly. Unless they've done some updates. But if it's possible, then you can connect it directly with the between TrackingDesk and Google Analytics, and that's it. No need to even go through Google Sheet. I might even try that.
Yeah, I'm looking into it. For AdWords, it's not a problem because Google Analytics is automatically connected to AdWords if you enable this.
Yes,
So
but the thing is that you see, if you want to do, if you want to send, you need to send the Google Click ID to Google Analytics. And
yeah, that's what I'm looking into exactly the client ID. But I don't see a field in Zapier where I can insert the client ID because I think Google Analytics is
yes,
deep.
that's what I was saying before. I think there are some missing fields, that are required for that integration.
Yeah, I think so.
Uh,
You can in fact add goals and conversions to analytics, but I think analytics will know where to what traffic source or what session to relate them because
mhm.
it doesn't have the client ID. So that's probably going to be an issue.
Yeah, update goal, run report, create. That would be create measurements, I think. But
Yeah, I'll look into that later.
would be event tracking, but then you don't have the, um,
Yeah, still it doesn't ask for the client ID, I think,
yeah,
because well,
you have the event action, label, value, client ID. Okay, so you have it here, but you don't have the Google Click ID.
Uh, where do you see that? We can,
Once you start opening up the properties, okay, you have event tracking,
uh,
and then you can select a category, which can be whatever, and then you can select the action. Um, but you don't have the property Google
find
Click
it.
ID.
Nice. Okay. Well, I can get that. That's not a problem. I can get it from with Google Tag Manager. There's a way to get it and to I can also insert it in the tracking URL. Um, so that,
Yeah,
that
but
should be
how do you pass it here? That's the question.
from TrackingDesk from the trigger. I assume. I mean, uh, I
I
can.
mean, you're saying that you do not need to put the Google Click ID here to associate the conversion with the Google Ads.
So what do you mean?
I mean, if you want to, for Google AdWords to get the conversion, you need to send the Click ID, the Google Click ID.
Yeah, okay, that's something else. Now, for AdWords, it's not a problem, I think, because then the DLC ID, it's the I assume that that is the only ID that AdWords needs to connect the conversion to all the campaign data.
Mm-hmm.
So that should be okay. But if a conversion happens through organic traffic, for example, or social, um, then I would like.
Okay. Now I understand what you're saying. This is, of course, you can use that for organic traffic.
Yeah, exactly. But
Yeah.
then I would really need the Google and its client ID to connect it to the proper session and the campaign and the channel that
You
the
mean
traffic.
the client ID, this?
So that would be the client ID exactly. And I
So,
think I
so
can.
this is something I guess you can get from Google Tag Manager. Um,
Yeah,
and
I believe I can, and then I can pass it on to TrackingDesk
yes,
in the
yes,
parameter.
yeah.
So that should work, I think. So this would be a perfect way to get the conversions also in analytics for all traffic sources.
Value of this field should be a random UUID, which you could generate using the the browser instance. We will make no.
Yeah, this is exactly what it is. Yeah.
This, yeah, I mean, this is something that you can either generate yourself or we can generate it for you. And, yeah, I mean, if you've got that, then yeah, then sure, you can push data. Yeah, I thought you wanted to connect that with the, you wanted to send the conversions from Google Analytics to AdWords, and that's why I was.
No, it's all the way around. AdWords.
You don't have the GCL ID, so forget it. That doesn't. It's not going to be possible. But if it's just to send the organic traffic, then yeah, that will definitely work.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
This is really, I think this is going to solve all my problems. Everything I need. So.
Good. Good. All right then. Okay, cool. Listen, if you've got everything you need, maybe you'll have some more question later. We'll be around, and I will save that webinar and send it to you so you can rewatch the show.
Okay.
All right.
I think I'm going to call it today. So let's go tomorrow morning. First thing, I'm going to look into this.
All right. Tell me something. Where you're from Germany?
Netherlands.
Netherlands. All right. Sorry. I thought you were from Germany. Sorry. Don't take offense, please. I'm from Switzerland, close by too.
Ah, okay. Oh, it's at Israel somewhere, but.
Yeah. No, I'm located right now in Israel, but I'm originally from Switzerland, from Geneva.
Ah, okay.
Yeah. Okay, cool. So listen, I hope it was instructive, and you were lucky because I think a lot of people just stayed, watching some soccer or something because I feel like there were meant to be like 20 people tonight on the webinar, and for some reason it was like just you and me and someone else which has been very silent. But yeah, but, it was glad we could focus on what you need.
Yeah, it was very useful, very useful. So
Glad I could help.
I'm gonna get everything working.
Okay.
Perhaps I might have some questions tomorrow, but you are available then, I think, right?
All right. Okay. Well, even Kim responded. Instructive and helpful. Glad we could help. Thanks, Kim and Tov, Chris. Let's chat maybe tomorrow if you have some questions. Otherwise, good luck with the setup. And if you have any questions, just shoot them through the messenger.
Okay, I'll do that.
Okay, cool.
Thank
Good night.
Have a good evening.
Yep.
Bye.
Ciao.